We're going to turn our attention now to Phil Egan's picks of the weekend. Phil, you're back with us.
Yeah,
still keeping the head warm. Fair play to you.
Absolutely, yeah.
So your must-watch after last week's, where you had, did you end up watching much football last weekend on the basis you had almost no games in must-watch? You've stacked it this week for us.
Yeah. Like, to be honest, like it probably fits into the fact that I'm finished up today for Christmas, so I would probably put all 10 games as must-watch, but obviously I can't do that, and still a bit of shopping to do. Also, you're in competition with several other sporting events this weekend, and you just mentioned the rugby. There's obviously All-Ireland finals on as well. I have to factor in the fact that I'm going to have to get up early Sunday morning to watch Canelo against Callum Smith. So there's a lot going on.
Could have got a hard life.
You have to pace yourself. I haven't even mentioned the darts. So, this is going to be, you don't want to burn yourself out before Christmas comes along,
Some good games this weekend.
Yeah.
United Leeds, we were talking to Andy Minton about it a little bit earlier on in terms of the rivalry and the hatred that exists between them. And also, you just don't know which United's going to turn up.
Yeah, I think this is the game of the weekend because Leeds are just the entertainers. Leeds make everyone look good. And Newcastle are probably the team that are most feature on my won't watch list. But because they played Leeds the other night, they became a must watch, and they actually played their part in an entertaining game because that's just what Leeds do. And I've said it plenty of times this season, Leeds are going to lose plenty of games, they're going to win plenty of games, but whatever happens, whatever the result is, you're going to get entertainment and goals, apart from the Leeds Arsenal 0-0 draw, but that in itself was actually quite an entertaining game as well. So yeah, you look at some of the players in the United team. Pogba obviously impressed last night. He is an absolute dream for a team that likes to press. If you see Paul Pogba on the ball and you are looking for the trigger to press, Paul Pogba always wants to take that extra touch. And if you're trying to press, that's exactly who you go after. Now, if United can get around the Leeds press, there's going to be space. And then we saw what United can do with space and counter-attack last night. So it makes for a really good game. And I know United haven't been great at Old Trafford, but I'm expecting fireworks on Sunday.
And I should remind people that you can stream Manchester United against Leeds 4:30 on Sunday on the Now TV Sky Sports Pass. Some of the other games that are in there. It's a top four at the Tottenham Stadium up against Leicester City. Everybody talking about, despite what happened during the week, that Jose's got his mojo back, Phil.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing as well, Brendan Rodgers has never beaten Jose Mourinho. Obviously, they used to work together at Chelsea, but Jose Mourinho's teams are just set up to pick off Brendan Rodgers' teams because we know Brendan Rodgers likes to play this attractive brand of football. Now, both sides like to counter-attack, but Rodgers seems to be the manager that would blink first, where he decide, no, let's take the game to Tottenham, and it should be just set up for Spurs to hit them on the break and put away some of those chances that they didn't put away on Wednesday night against Liverpool. So I don't think anything is going to change in terms of that Jose Mourinho and Brendan Rodgers record. And, Leicester obviously were quite disappointing against Everton. They beat Brighton last weekend, but Brighton again are a team. They're a model team for a Leicester side. So Spurs definitely don't fall into that category. And yeah, I think Spurs will get back to winning ways.
He was the new Jose Mourinho at one point, wasn't he, for a while? Or the Irish Jose Mourinho, whatever you're having yourself.
Yeah, but just doesn't play, just doesn't go to the same level in terms of trying to sit in and make just the way they played the other night, Tottenham, that is, you'd never see Leicester play like that.
Everton Arsenal is the latest game, and Mikel Arteta's inevitable march to being sacked.
Yeah, and you think back to this fixture last season at Goodison Park, and Arteta and Ancelotti were both sitting in the stand, and there was that sliding door moment where we wondered, would Arteta be the Everton manager? And obviously Ancelotti was always going to be linked with an Arsenal job when Emery left. But looking at things now and how things have developed, you're definitely happier if you're an Everton fan and you've got Carlo Ancelotti. And a little bit of a blip, obviously started the season well. Then the Merseyside derby was when they drew and they dropped their first points, and then they suffered a few defeats. But the last couple of games have been great for them, obviously beating Chelsea, beating Leicester, and they will definitely fancy their chances against Arsenal.
Is there any case you can make that Alex Iwobi won't score against Arsenal this weekend?
No. Well, Theo Walcott did it during the week, so there's a fair chance Iwobi will definitely have a hand in the goal, whether he actually scores one or just sets one up, because a lot of Everton's good moments are coming from either Richarlison or Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But Iwobi's he's been decent in the last couple of games, and this is a guy that they paid a lot of money for, and not so long ago people were probably thinking, geez, Arsenal did well out of that deal, but he's definitely found his feet in this Everton team. And yeah, Everton are looking up, and as I said, I think they'll definitely be thinking another 3 points, which would be a nice return and a nice week's work if they were to take the scalps of Chelsea, Leicester and Arsenal in the space of 7 days.
You've the Frank Lampard derby, obviously, Chelsea, West Ham, and then third against ninth, which you would scarcely have believed it to be that way around for Southampton against City. And Matt Letizia was on with Joe during the week, a really good conversation about Southampton and where they're at, how they've got there, and where they might end up. Which is where, Phil, this season, do you think?
I think one thing that suits them, obviously they play high energy, high pace. They don't have European football. The busy Christmas period probably will catch up with them, and certain games they do look tired towards the end. I think it shows where they are, though, that they probably were very disappointed that they couldn't beat Arsenal the other night, considering they went ahead, but also Arsenal were reduced to 10 men. And Southampton are obviously beat Manchester City at St Mary's last season. My worry for Southampton is anytime things go really well for them, two things happen: their manager or their best players get picked off, and there's a strong possibility that could happen between now and the end of the season. Said it on the show earlier this week that Dortmund are obviously on the lookout for a new manager, and Hasenhüttl would definitely be a perfect fit for a club like Dortmund. But as things stand, obviously he's with Southampton, and maybe top 8 is where I kind of thought they might finish last season. Then they went on that really bad run and obviously got hockeyed 9-0 by Leicester. It looked like that could be the end for Hasenhüttl, but they stuck with him, and now they're fully justified for doing that. And yeah, they're on a high, and I think when you look at them, they've got certain players that you think that they could go on to do bigger and better things at other clubs.
Phil, it's Sunday night. Picture yourself. You're off for the next 2 weeks. Yeah. Most of the heavy sport is behind you. You probably have a little bit of darts to look forward to. You have the weekend ahead of you. You're maybe a bit tired after the boxing. But Big Sam is on the TV, and somehow you've only put this in the might watch category. I am really not having that.
Yeah, but look at it, like West Brom and Villa. Did you see Villa and Burnley yesterday?
Oh my God! Like what is with Aston Villa and their incredible ability to find themselves in brilliant positions and not be able to put the ball in the back of the net? Like, I'm not sure if you're going to classify that as unexciting, but I would say Aston Villa are probably the most frustrating team in the Premier League to support, and I'm just happy I'm not one of them.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the Arsenal fan.
They're in competition with Brighton for finding ways not to win games. But in fairness, Villa have won a lot more games than Brighton. But yeah, I think
you're not missing the point here. Big Sam is going to be on the TV on Sunday night. What else is there to be? I don't understand what else is where the discussion. Why this is even a discussion? Pint of wine in hand, on you go.
Me or Big Sam?
Well, both potentially.
Because this would be a novelty for me on a Sunday night, not having to worry about getting up on a Monday morning and that Sunday night fear, thinking. But there's going to be there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do between now and Christmas. Can I justify saying I'm watching West Brom and Aston Villa?
Can you put out? You guarantee you're going to be watching that game Sunday night.
You know what I said? It'll probably be in the might watch where you start watching it. You see what kind of team he picks. Obviously, from an Irish point of view, you hope that he goes with Darragh O'Shea, given his performance at the Etihad the other night. You hope that Big Sam doesn't say, nah, you're out. I'm going for the old-timer with Branislav Ivanovic, who was horrendous against Newcastle last weekend. And Darragh O'Shea is a much better option. That's not me saying that with my Irish glasses on, but I'm always interested to see what a new manager does in terms of team selection. Does he stick with the same 11 that got that result at the Etihad the other night, or does he say, Charlie Austin, you're my man?
And you're not going to watch Dave McGoldrick's inevitable march back into an Irish shirt as he continues to score goals in the Premier League. Sheffield United at Brighton. You're not watching Newcastle Fulham, and you're not watching Burnley Wolves. We shall see how that pans out, Phil. I have my doubts.
Yeah, exactly.
I have my doubts.
God, we really need to get McGoldrick out of retirement, don't we?
He's coming back. There's if he continues to do what he did last night, there's no chance that Stephen Kenny isn't making that top priority, right?
It could be one of those phone calls he has to make over Christmas.
Yeah.
If they get relegated, he's got a good chance, doesn't he? Like, the whole reason why he retired is, I presume, to earn his starting place back in as part of this collective effort to stay up.
Is it nearly more difficult? The more goals he scores, the more he's like, listen, Stephen, I mean, I've loved playing for Ireland, but I'm bagging in goals here and I'm not doing anything to jeopardise it.
Well, playing international football while playing the Championship might help put you in the shop window if you wanted to get a move out of Sheffield United.
Yeah, but I also think as well, like with McGoldrick, you have to look at his age and his track record with injuries. There's a reason that he had to go on a trial to Sheffield United, because the ability's always been there, but he's always just been injured. Yeah. And as soon as he got a run in the Sheffield United team, he was brilliant from that promotion from the Championship. And obviously the goals didn't come last season as freely as they did in the Championship. But yeah, look, you only have to look at the Slovakia game. He was our best player that night.
Phil, enjoy when you watch Big Sam at the weekend, will you tweet us and just let us know that you're doing it, because it'll make me
I will,
feel
and I'll take a picture of glass in hand, the
pint of wine. Good man. Enjoy the break.
Thanks, lads. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas to you, Phil Egan.